They did what? I'll say it again because some of you weren't here when I said it. $1,000 to sit in a ball game. And they went, you know, Illinois, the first time in their history, they almost went, you know. And I know some that went 6 or 7 times. Well, if they sat in the same place, I know how much it costs, besides all the other costs. But ask them, did you give $6,000 to the church? I'm not asking for fend off. I'm saying the absurdity of the behavior to start with. But anyway, they'll go and shout and scream, just like something's going to happen. Just like something's going on. And they're rooting for in a game. What do we know, even in a postmodern game? What do we know? Everybody knows it. Both teams cannot what? You've got it down pat. And only if the teams abide by the boundary laws can you do what? But that's not postmodern. Who authorized you to have these boundary laws? But a game theory, is that if you're going to play this game, these are the restrictions. You don't have to play. But if you're going to play, this is what you have to do. But do they get upset and say, I'm not playing with anybody like that. I'm postmodern. They do that? I never heard of it. Maybe you know thousands of people. I don't know anybody. Most of the people I know are weird, so I don't. Some are. You ever seen a $3, $5, $7, $9, or $13 bill? That's weird, isn't it? Well, I know some of those like that. That'd be strange. Well, all these influences, what I've been harping about, do they make any sense to you? Do you have any questions? And this afternoon we'll come back to what the postmodern world is and the factors about the postmodern world.
Professor, are you assuming then that just as the Roman Empire in its height indulged in entertainment to appease the masses, that the American culture is following the same pattern?
Well, the pattern of entertainment per se is not good or bad, just entertainment. I'm talking about the behavior pattern and the cost of entertainment. It's the same kind of thing. It's like, have you ever heard of Gibbon, the fall of the Roman Empire? Now, the historians don't like old Gibb, but that's because of revisionist history. I'm saying it's something that we ought to watch. You see, it's not evil, nor is it neutral. Once you engage it, it's like a quadratic equation. That's neutral until you do something with it. Then it's no longer neutral. So, sports, nothing evil about that. You're getting healthy bodies, and God knows that I need a healthier body than I've got. But, so it's not that divergent, but when you have to have an epidemic, see, sports are a multi-billion-dollar business. Multi-billion-dollar business. And that's just in America. I don't know what it is other places. So when you can get a 7-foot-tall talking wall that can't read nor write, get $19 million to beat somebody's brains out, things are bad. Or if he's 7 foot tall, if you're not 6'9", you can't play basketball today unless you shoot 80% from outside. And you got 2 guards that'll take care of you. But you got to have guards to protect you. But if you can't shoot, if you shoot that 25-30%, you can't be 6 foot tall and play basketball today. Unless you're a good shot. I mean, that's the rest of them. When you see a short guy, you know he's a good shooter. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But you got to have those 6'9", 6'10", 7'3" people to protect them. Well, anyway, it's not just a blanket statement that entertainment or fun. I'm for fun. Chris knows. Other people don't know what's his name, but I like fun. I'm tickled to death with fun. But fun doesn't control my life. See, if I just sat around doing the Cal chart or the rule chart or quadratic equations, I'd go insane. But I have to do that some. I just have to control it. See, it's over priorities, just like any of these factors in the romantic. intuition, feeling. There's nothing wrong with them as long as you don't do brain surgery, but how you feel about it. But we do feel, of course we do. That's not the discussion. The discussion's over priority. Does that make any sense? They controlled the Roman people by entertainment. Well, I don't know that we're quite there. It's almost not too good. I'd say America is going downhill fast, riding first class on the Titanic. And
So it's inevitable.
well, inevitability, four things, because this is a bright question. You're too bright, probably. Sorry. And there are four theses of classical liberalism. I'm going to put those on this afternoon, but I'll put them on now. Classical liberalism said that progress was inevitable. Science, technology, education, that there's no stopping of it. It's inevitable. And if it's inevitable, it has to happen. Now notice that the classical things I'm going to give you is a direct confrontation with the Calvinistic tulip. If progress is inevitable, science, technology, and education, then the Calvin tulip that you need God, you need forgiveness, you need mercy, you need grace, that's out. Then perfectibility of man. Now what about the biblical doctrine and the Calvinistic tulip about the perfectibility of man? When Augustine said that the imago Dei was what? Image of God was what? Annihilated in the fall. Well, I'd have to unpack what he meant by that and what the Bible, what Paul means in Romans Galatians. But if it's completely annihilated, then there is no point of contact of the sinner with God. That's why you've got to be elected. All right, all those, but classical liberalism, inevitability of progress, inherent perfectibility of man, inherent goodness of man. Now, what doctrine in the Bible does that confront? Because that's happening in the Christian world. What is the inherent goodness of man? What doctrines that confront? You know,
all those sins and
sin! Well, sin's neurosis after Freud and after the 19th century. Sin's pathology has nothing to do with God or violating the moral norms of a holy God. It is violating the norms of a community. Well, what community? Any community. It's like lying to the mafia. You know what the mafia, you have mafia, you know? You lie to the mafia and you wake up in a concrete kimono. But they lie to everybody else, but they know what lying is. Of course, you better not lie to them. Now, they lie to everybody else. Now, notice that. But they intimidate. That's how come they control it. Well, I'll shoot your mother and your kids. Oh, I don't want you to do that. Well, anyway, inherent goodness of man, perfectibility of man, and the total animality of man after Darwin. If man is just an animal, then the Christian doctrine is out. And what is another pillar? Not pillow. It's not sleep time. This is a pillar talk. Foundational talk. Inherent goodness of man, perfectibility of man, complete animality of man, and that nature was ultimate. So what doctrines does classical liberalism confront that are biblically oriented? Progress is not inevitable. See, because there have been studyable. Now, if you can't study it, I don't know what to talk about. There have been 23 civilizations studyable at the university. You went to study it. Now, Western civilization is a civilization. Is one of those. That's 23rd. What has happened to 22 of them? Because where can you study them? At the university in history book.
they stopped progressing.
Now, they died. And not one of those are by record. See, I can't deal, only the text is all I got to deal with. I'm not making up stuff. But every one of those civilizations collapsed internally, morally internally. Not one of those civilizations collapsed from external force.